What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. We back in these streets. We back in these work streets. Getting ready for this big matchup with these Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys. Packers been the thorn in the Cowboys side for a very long time. Last victory I've seen the Cowboys get against the Packers was 2016 when Dallas went to Green Bay and pulled off that upset. And didn't think that was going to happen, but that's probably why they won. Segue. That may be the reason why they win Sunday. Now, in my opinion, obviously, we all know the odds are stacked against the Cowboys right now. You have major injuries. Cooper Beebe is out. Jonathan Mingo, your receiver, who was showing a little bit of stuff. We were kind of getting excited about Jonathan Mingo. Then he got hurt. So you've had Mingo out. Cooper Beebe, your young starting center, is out. Now you just had your starting right guard, first-round draft pick, and Tyler Booker, who's been looking really, really good in these first three games, has been everything that you wanted at that position. He's out for some weeks. And then your number one guy, CeeDee Lamb, we saw his ankle injury, and he's going to be out. So you got a lot of those guys that are going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. So Cowboys going to have to weather the storm, but this might just be the season where it's another season when you got back-to-back losing seasons. So this is that critical period because you got some winnable games after this Green Bay game. And then that gauntlet of games comes right after when that Thanksgiving is coming up. So you got to get some wins now. So with that being said, I'm just going to talk about my thoughts about this game. You obviously saw the Green Bay Packers. Everybody thought they were going to go into Cleveland and stomp Cleveland. Some other people said it was going to be closer than it was going to be. And Green Bay had the lead 10-0, and out of nowhere, Browns scored 13 unanswered points. Big critical interception by Jordan Love, and he does that. Good season. I think he's thrown 5 touchdowns, but that one big interception in their own territory, that really changed the whole game right there. So one thing we do know about Jordan Love, he's a multi-talented quarterback. Slings it, got the arm, got all the essentials you need to be the franchise quarterback, and they paid him like one. But he will turn the ball over, and that's one of his pertinence. His last few years has been a little bit of a turnover machine, so you can get him to turn over the ball. So if we're looking from their offensive side to Dallas's defensive side, obviously we know the issues that's been going on with Dallas, right, with the defense. But Jadeveon Clowney will be active. How many snaps we don't know how many snaps he's going to get. Brian Schottenheimer said, he wanted to slow cook him, but they didn't slow cook Micah Parsons when they traded him. He had no camp. He had nothing going on, and they traded him, and he went and hit the ground running with Green Bay, and he had a supposed back injury. So if that's the case, Clowney says, I've been doing this for over 10 years. This ain't nothing. Put this man in there and play him till his tongue falls out. Because you need him right now. You're struggling to get pressure. I believe you still only have 3 sacks. Marshawn Nealon, I've been said that I like him. But I said he's like a DeMarcus Lawrence clone. He's not a sack guy. He won't get you sacks, might get some pressures, but he's going to be the guy that's really going to hold down that run game. Go look at that video I said about him. That's exactly what I said. That's what he's done. Dante Fowler, I did have higher expectations for him. Especially when he said, I've been disrespecting these streets. I should be getting more pub. They got him to a nice deal. We haven't seen him. And then Sam Williams, who another person I said, this could be his breakout year. It's a contract year. It's a breakout. It could be a breakout year, 10-sack year. I've been saying that. But it just looks like Sam Williams is an undisciplined player. He's got the athletic traits, but going back to college, just undisciplined player. Doesn't really have any kind of go-to moves. Just really relies on his athletic ability. And I feel like that's why you're really not seeing him turn the corner. Enter Jadeveon Clowney, who needs to take one of those guys' spots. I'm going to lean on him taking Williams' spot more than a Fowler because Fowler's more proven. And I like to see Clowney get a lot of those snaps. Kenny Clark came back from the injury. Glad it wasn't nothing long-term. So, he's excited to play his old team as well. Osa, maybe we'll see Mozzie. He had some good snaps against that Bears offense. So hopefully he can, that little rotation because, once again, they had no running game. Once again, they threw the ball. So when you're looking at the offense, Romeo Doubs, the number 1 draft pick, Matthew Golden, he was, mocked to Dallas quite a bit. Dontarion Wicks, They got some good tight ends over there. But, Josh Jacobs, he's dealing with an ankle injury. If the Browns can beat the Packers, Cowboys can beat them. Especially whenever a lot of people are predicting a blowout in this game. Considering what Dallas is missing on the offensive side, considering that pass defense has been terrible. So a lot of people are predicting this. It's going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be a blowout. Dallas going to be 1-3. I predicted pretty much all the games correctly so far. I knew Cowboys going to act funny against the Bears. I didn't think they were going to win it. I didn't say a prediction, but I predicted that Giants victory, although I thought it would be bigger, and I predicted that Eagles loss. So I'm correct in my season so far at 1-2. And if you're asking me right now, what do I think about this game? I'm gonna go out on the limb on this one. Cowboys surprise and pull the upset. I'm gonna go with this one just because whenever Dallas is counted out, they tend to play better. When everybody says they're gonna do good, they suck, right? And when you look at everything that's going against them in this game, especially with Micah Parsons coming back, people are gonna say it's gonna be a sack fest, which it really could be. But Dallas may rise above and surprise in this game. They have to contain the run game. They've been doing it. They've been doing a great job. They got one of the top run defenses in the league right now. Their middle tier. That's only because you had Jalen Hurts really kill them in the run game. But nobody, and Russell Wilson skirted a little bit. But if you're looking at the running backs, no running back has done anything against Dallas. So they have really contained the run game. They got some tight ends. Keep their eye on that tight end. Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. They're going to be trying to work those seams. Jordan Love is. And watch Matthew Golden, because I definitely think they're going to take some deep shots. If you've seen all these other teams take some deep shots, they're going to try you deep. So maintain that run game and put some pressure on Jordan Love, man. It said in the stats that Dallas is a better team when they put pressure as far as blitz rate. Send some blitzes, dog. Pressure Jordan Love, because when he gets pressure, he makes funny decisions, and you could pick some passes off with him. This could be that game. So I don't want them to strictly sit in that zone and not put some pressure. This got to be a blitz game, okay? And then we're talking on the offensive end. That's where the worry is. Obviously on the defensive end and that back end, but I feel like that could be prevented. You heard Eberflus say he's going to dumb down the system. I don't know how you do that when your system is already kind of more the easier concept. He said it in the very beginning, my concepts are easier. And this is going to be where my guys don't have to think so much. They just play fast. I don't understand what's going on with that, but he said there's going to be wholesale changes. We're going to see. We've been clamoring for Donovan Wilson. Take some steps back and let's see some Wanya, because I saw a little bit of him in that Bears game. I don't know what's going on with Marquise Bell, but you got to find that balance with those guys. And maybe a Deron Bland sighting might happen. That would be welcome, because you need some help on that back end, because Kyer Elam is not that guy. Not right now. He is not that guy. He needs to be replaced right now. So let's talk about on this offensive side. Obviously, we already told you BB's going to be out. I like Hoffman as the backup. Tyler Booker's going to be out. TJ Bass might get the first crack at it. So they're going to see how that rotation goes. I worry about those edges and Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton, because they're going to try to expose that. They've already been talking about they're going to move Micah around everywhere for him to be the chess piece. And you best believe Micah Parsons is going to be telling them everything about Dallas and what they do and their tendencies. Right? Remember, we in these work streets, but I'm going to get ready to close. But, as I said, it's going to be a chess piece. And, that front line is going to be tested. It's going to be some stuff. Guyton, Bass, Smith, Hoffman. Still, y'all got to play the game of y'all life Sunday. For real, y'all really got to get in there. Clayton Adams, Riley have been doing a hell of a job, but y'all got to band together and really step your game up and give Dak some time. Really. Because guess what? Javonte Williams has been busting his ass. He's been playing some really good football, averaging over 5 yards a carry, physical runner. But hey, I said I wanted him to be the starter anyway. And I said when I dropped that video, when I showed him playing, I think it was his rookie year against Kansas City, I said, this is the type of Javonte Williams I want to see, running through the tackles, running physical, and that's what we're seeing right now. So that's exciting in that part. I like to see some Brandon Spanford. I'm sorry, I'm over Schoonmaker. He is absolute no value to the team, in my opinion. Jake Ferguson, he's a Jason Witten clone as far as now you're catching your 4 or 5 yard catches, and you're playing hard. I ain't hating on your Jake Ferguson, but you just need more from that tight end position. I need more athleticism. That Fairweather, I wish you could get some of that on that field. Because I don't even want to see Schoonmaker no more. Why? Second round, get him out of here. Jake Ferguson, I love you, but that tight end position needs to be upgraded. I wish they wouldn't have paid him. I'm glad he got paid. Not hating. But I just wish they would have waited. Anyway, George Pickens, Kevontae Turpin, Jalen Tolbert, any of you guys, but specifically you, George Pickens. You need to show why that they want to pay you all this money, or if you want to get you a new big contract, you need to show why you're a number one guy. This is your opportunity. Going against a top team, you can show you the man. You had a big drop in that Bears game. You need to get that concentration together, and I need a big game from George Pickens, because as much as CeeDee Lamb has dropped the ball, he leads the league, I believe, in drops in 5, but he's still getting 100-yard games. He's still there. He's still doing it. And I need George Pickens to show a lot more. He got the touchdown against the Bears, but I need one of them 6, 7, 8 catch games. I need 100-yard receiving. I need 7 to 8 catches, 100 yards receiving, and at least one touchdown from George Pickens, for real. And Javonte Williams, I need a 100-yard game. So that they need to buckle down. You need to give Dak some time so he can do some play action, because he's so much better at play action than anything else. So we'll see. I'm going to say Cowboys pull an upset in this one. What would I say the score at? (21-17), 20-17, 24-21, around there. That's what I'm calling. I'm going with the upset. My heart's saying, I don't know, more likely 1-3. But I'm going to jump out there and say the Cowboys pull the upset and go 2-2 before they head with their matchup, I believe, with the Broncos. And one last thing, it's been in them streets about Jeffrey Simmons. Titans maybe want to do some fire selling. Some teams may want to do that, and they're talking about they're open for trade for him, and they'll take a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick. Cowboys, you better look into that. I've been wanting Jeffrey Simmons for 100 years, and I never thought he'd be available. I never thought Jeffrey Simmons would ever be available, ever, because he's too good of a damn player. I've been wanting Jeffrey Simmons, man. He's a dog. You got Kenny Clark. You can have a Jeffrey Simmons. For a 2nd round pick, you got that. You got 2 firsts. You don't have a 3rd because you traded that away for George Pickens. But if I can get a Jeffrey Simmons for just a 2nd or a 5th, 2nd and a 4th, I give you a 2nd and a 4th. Feel me? For Jeffrey Simmons. Now, the talk is you got Osa, you got Kenny Clark. If you were to do something like that, what would happen? Well, I've already talked about it. I love Osa, and y'all should know I love Osa. But if I had a chance to get a Jeffrey Simmons, and let's say you said, let's get a Jeffrey Simmons and make the trade, I would be cool with letting an Osa go for a Jeffrey Simmons. I'd do a straight-up trade if they wanted to do that, with them 2 swap. But if they didn't, maybe an Osa and a 4th. I don't know if I want to give them that 2nd. If I gave you an Osa and a 4th, would you take that, Titans? If you don't want to take that, I'll give you a 2nd and Mozzie. Osa and a 4th, or straight up Osa and Jeffrey, or I give you that 2nd, I give you Mozzie. You feel me? But give me Jeffrey Simmons over here. And I heard some people say, I ain't getting rid of no Osa. Jeffrey Simmons is only 1 year older than Osa Okudazua. Osa's 27, Simmons is 28. If I look at them numbers, and I've been seeing the play, Somebody said Osa gets more double teams. Maybe last year. But I don't think that's been happening year in and year out. I got to check that. But I'm sorry. Simmons last year, 74 tackles, 5 sacks. That was in 24. 23, 44 tackles, 5 sacks. 22, 54 tackles, 7.5 sacks. 21, 54 tackles, 8.5 sacks. So he's in the tackle game. I mean, he's making play in the run game. He's making play, and he's a pass rushing defensive tackle. You got him and Kenny Clark, and I ain't dissing Osa, but dog, I'm saying Jeffrey Simmons to me is better than Osa. To me, Jeffrey Simmons is better than Osa. And I would take a Jeffrey Simmons and a Kenny Clark. And that, if I could give up a second and Mozzie, I'm definitely doing that. I'd rather not give up Osa, but you got both of those guys are playing the same position. So where the snaps are going to come. You feel me? Simmons going to have to play and be a major contributor unless you're kicking Osa on the outside, and I don't think they're going to do that. You feel me? So just from me, if you want a straight-up player, I'll do the straight-up flip with the Jeffrey Simmons and a Osa. Or I go Osa if you wanted a pick 2. I do Osa and a 4th or 5th. Or I do, you want that second? I give you that second and a Mozzie. But if you can make that trade happen, I'm doing that. And it's affordable. It can happen. And you're not going to cripple your team. You got money. You can make this happen. And I feel like this continues to make you a better team. You can improve that back end in the draft with those first 2 picks. But if you're already set in the middle with the Jeffrey Simmons and